Okay, I just need to finish this video. Oh, my feet are falling asleep. Oh. Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a magical day today and welcome back to my channel. If you have not seen my previous video where I talked about the web-based interview and my tips and tricks for applying to the Disney College program, make sure you go check out those videos and then come on back to this one. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the phone interview for the Disney College program and what my experience was like and what I did to prepare for the phone interview. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the phone interview, the PI. This is kind of a big deal. Everybody talks about it, everybody stresses about it. It's the big thing. I had no idea what to expect. I had never applied for any sort of job like this before or had to interview for a position. All of my previous jobs were working at a preschool, working at a dance studio, and being a nanny, as I said, and volunteering in classrooms, things like that where I already had connections and didn't need to interview or apply. The only thing I'd really applied for was college, and the colleges that I applied to and the college that I go to didn't require any sort of interview with me to accept me. So what I did to prepare was what you're doing, which is watching a lot of videos and doing lots of online research to find out what to expect for the phone interview, what sorts of questions they ask, and how to answer them. So first of all, you're going to set up a time for your phone interview, and you're going to want to make sure that it's time where you have space, you have good cell service, your phone is charged up, you have your notes out in front of you, you're feeling calm, you're feeling ready to go, there's no distractions, you don't have something that you're going to rush to after this, you can just focus on the interview and portraying yourself in the best possible way you can. You want to make sure your voice is nice and upbeat and chipper and happy, because after all, you're applying for Disney. You're interviewing for a job with Disney. It's very exciting, and I watched a lot of videos, as I'm sure you all are too, online about the phone interview, and you see some people who do really well and you see some people who don't do so well. And one of the things that the people who do well do is they have a really upbeat voice and they are genuinely happy. You can only fake it so much. It's so easy to tell if someone's not really happy. So just get yourself in a good mindset and be excited for yourself. Don't be nervous, be excited. This is such an exciting opportunity. It also helps, I think, for me at least, to stand up and walk around and not be sitting down, because if you're sitting or laying down, it's going to be more casual. A lot of people say to dress for the interview, dress up nice, just like you would if you were going to an face-to-face in-person interview. Look the part and you will feel the part, and it will be a lot easier to get into the character and the mindset of interviewing. One of the things that I did to prepare was, first of all, I printed off my application, because you can go online and see where it is, and I printed it out and I went through and I highlighted things within the resume portion of it, like different responsibilities I had at my jobs. I have my notes here, as you can see. It's a nice big packet. So in the first part, I'll talk about that later, but in the back here I have my application. So I highlighted words like patience, organization, loving, caring, respect, positive attitude, mediation, creativity, flexibility, role model, safe person, trust, served, led, monitored, cleaned, patience, positive attitude, creativity, relating with students, role model, manners, respect, provide fun, welcoming environment, aided, having patience, having kindness, having respect, warm and positive environment, good work ethics, a positive attitude, flexibility, cooperation, unique and creative ideas. These are some of the words that I highlighted to make sure that I really emphasize those points about myself. Even though they have your application and they can read it, it's a lot more beneficial for you to talk about those experiences and give more specific examples of how you are a good leader and how you are patient and how you have good work ethics and a positive attitude when you are at work. Another thing that I did was I looked up between watching people's actual phone interviews and looking up the questions online. I wrote down some of the common questions, and then I did like a little essay prep thing because I'm a nerd, and I jotted down some bullet points as to what I could talk about if they asked me those questions, so I had a general idea. So I will probably, I don't know, we'll see. If I don't do this, I'll cut this part out, but I will be linking a document to all of my notes so that you can see what I did and exactly how I prepared for this. So some of the questions about living with roommates and handling situations and any sort of roommate things like that, because you're going to be living here. The college program and how it affects your future career. What's your favorite previous or current job and why? Talking about your interests within Walt Disney World. If you, depending on what roles you put you're interested in, like for example, I put like merchandise I was interested in, so they asked me if I had ever worked in that sort of position before or dealt with a cash register. They'll ask you about things like, these are more common things they'll ask you about. Working with a team, handling a difficult guest, working in a fast-paced environment, multitasking, any sort of emergency situation. Florida's weather. These are sorts of things that they'll ask you about that will be applicable for any role here at Disney. They'll also ask you if you did put an interest in being a character performer. They will ask you if you are attending an audition, just to get an idea of numbers of how many people they will have there. They'll ask you why you chose the Disney College Program internship to apply for as opposed to other internships. They may ask you more specific questions in regards to roles, such as how to deal with speaking in front of large crowds, or if you have to tell a guest something that they might not want to hear, like your child is not tall enough for this attraction, or we do not have that t-shirt anymore. How I would handle any sort of guest situation if I was working in the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, because I put that as one of my interests. How would I handle it if the parent didn't like how their children's hair or makeup looked? How I would handle that situation. Lots of things like that. Some general notes. Make sure you say sir or ma'am or miss. Make sure you use the interviewer's name. At the beginning, write it down. Write down their name. They always emphasize in all the videos that I watch that you should use their name when you can. It makes it more personal and makes them know that you are paying attention and you have an interest, because that's what they want for their guests. They want you to use, I work in hospitality here, so I know this. We talk about this all the time. It's one of the things that we talk about is using the guest's name and having that connection with them and looking for those little bits of information that can really help personalize the experience and show that you genuinely care about the guest. So that starts all the way with the phone interview. Whether you work in hospitality or in the parks, it's important to try to get to know the guests and make that a unique, individualized experience for them. I would suggest having a piece of paper and a pen and some blank space out to take notes during the interview if you need to. Like I said, use the interviewer's name. Try not to say things like and any sort of filler words such as that. You want to avoid those and try to be straightforward and concise and clear with your answers. Make sure you have follow-up questions for them. They want to know what you want to know about the company. So I asked more about the classes and things like that, and I asked about Give Kids the World Village and volunteering with volunteers. Another question that I asked, I believe, was, I just asked the interview because I'm genuinely interested with any cast member that I communicate with, is how did you get involved in the company? Because so many people have such different stories and they start in so many different places, and I think that's another really cool thing about the company is even though we all work for Disney, we all have a different adventure and a different journey. I suggest having out your application, as I said before, and some notes for the questions and just bullet points of what you would say. Think about your previous jobs and your experiences there and how that will affect and help you in working for the Disney company. Make sure you're thinking of bad guest situations and any sort of emergency situation. Think of how you would realistically handle that and what you would do. Like I always say, be honest. Be yourself, but be honest. Don't say that you're CPR certified and you're gonna go and save the day if you're not. Like, it's fine. You don't have to be. They just want you to be honest and they want to know what you would do. Are you gonna totally freak out and not be helpful? Okay, at least we know. Or are you gonna be able to assist if needed? The 4 keys of Disney: safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency. They are very important, and you want to mention those or at least allude to them throughout your interview. And just remember that safety begins with me. Safety is most important, so you're keeping that above all else, always. Make sure you thank your interviewer for taking the time to speak with you and to answer your questions about the company, because they do take time out of it to do that, and it makes them feel special. And that's what we're all about here at Disney, is we want to make people have a magical day and we want them to be happy here. And I especially always am going out of my way to thank other cast members for what they do, because everybody's job is difficult and you need that little boost to make you feel good. It will really go a long way. So make sure you use your interviewer's name and thank them for their time. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions, comments, suggestions for future videos, or anything in regards to that, leave it down below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, check out all the links to my social media in the description below, and subscribe to my blog website where I post updates more consistently on there than I do on here. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have a magical rest of your day, and we'll see you real soon.